me show you how to do the drills. You won't need cotton paper for this exercise. What I have here is actually scratch paper. For the paint, a student grade would do any color that you like. You can even use pigments that you don't use regularly. Now let's discuss brushes. I will be showing you how to paint the different shapes using these brushes. A big flat brush, a smaller flat, an oval brush, a Chinese calligraphy brush, a round tip brush, and a small synthetic flat brush. Starting off with the stems. Obviously, you would want to choose a round tip brush since we will be painting smaller shapes. Loading my brush with enough paint and oops, that's okay. Erase it with a rag or paper towel and continue. What you need to remember is the thickness of the lines will depend on the pressure you apply on the brush. A hard press would render a thick stroke, but if you use your pinky finger to support your hand to apply the lightest pressure that you can, then you'll be able to paint thinner lines. Practice as much as you need. This is one of the challenging tasks for beginners, but with enough drills, you can do this too. Switching to a Chinese brush. This would be more challenging to use, but if you manage to apply light pressure, you will still be able to paint narrow stems. Now what about the flat brush? Hold it upright and use the tip of the brush and slowly glide downwards. Or you can also use the corner tip like this. Play around with your brushes and get to know them, what they can do and cannot do. If you want a medium-sized leaf, try using a bigger round tip brush and see what you can achieve with a single stroke. Or try going from hard pressure to light pressure. Hard to light, starting from top to bottom and close off the shape. Obviously, if you switch to a smaller brush, you'll also get smaller marks. Repeating the same strokes from top to bottom and applying hard to light pressure. Repeat this drill as much as you need. Is it possible with a flat brush though? Use the corner tip of the brush and you will still somewhat create leaf shapes. It will look different, but it's not impossible. You may also need to retouch the shape if it seems a bit messy, like what I'm doing here. Now, what if we reverse the pressure that we apply, going from light to hard pressure? The shape will also be different. This time, we use the tip of the brush and then press harder and engage the whole belly of the brush to finish off the shape. Still different, but they look like leaves, right? And that's what's important during these drills. For the petals, personally, I think using an oval brush is the easiest way, but your experience might be different. With 2 strokes, it's easy to create petals with rounded edges. Or apply hard pressure and then slowly lift up the brush to create the same shape. Okay, you don't need to purchase the brushes that I use. That is the purpose of these drills, getting to know our materials. With enough practice, you can also replicate these shapes using a calligraphy brush. And if I were to paint a 5-petal flower, I can do it like this. always going back to the center until I completed the shape. If I switch to a smaller brush, of course, the approach is the same, but the output would be slightly different, and that's totally fine. Now with the flat brush again, it would be more challenging, but still possible. This bigger flat brush is what I usually use for backgrounds, but if you apply just enough pressure and use the corner tip, it's still possible to paint flowers. Have fun during these exercises and experiment a lot. For the buds, all you have to do is use the tip and paint smaller dots like this. Use 2 strokes or start from the bottom, going up and then down again to close off the shape. Repeat as many times as needed. What about a big flat brush? Use the corner tip and try to achieve this shape in a single stroke. If you have a bigger round brush, apply as slight pressure as you can and paint the shape with a single stroke. For an oval brush, do not press too hard and you will also render this shape. A thinner version though. See, it's all about getting to know your materials, being patient, and I'm sure you will be able to paint these shapes after a few practice. Again, to give you a boost in motivation and inspiration, here are some of my students before and after the workshop output. Looking forward to see your project.